Guess who's back? Back again. How y'all doing about monsters? You know what, I'm not even gonna do that. We're at the desk. It's serious this time. Also, you probably read the title, so you should probably know. It's serious this time. I should point this out, when I first started thinking like, oh, I should make a I'm coming back video, I originally drafted it as just a real quick, unedited video saying, hey, all the BS that I left, that I was taking a break for, the AP test mainly, that's over, and that one video is up. It's actually been doing really well. Go check it out if you haven't. I'll leave it in the cards up top. I don't know, it'll be in one of these two corners. I forget if the video that I'm seeing on the preview, like the screen of the camera, I don't know if it translates exactly to how it is on YouTube, but I know in the video it pops up in the top right corner. So for me, that's right there. For you, it might be up there. Doesn't really matter. It'll be up there, and it'll also be in the end card. Go check that out. I spent like way more time than is healthy on it, and have royally screwed up my sleeping schedule because as of the time of making this video, it is 4:21 a.m. And to show you that I'm not bullshitting, well, I probably shouldn't show you my phone screen since that's got notifications on it, but I'll show you the watch screen if I can get it off. I got a silicone watch strap, so you'll notice that it's not the leather one anymore. It'll probably pop up a lot more in videos with the silicone, simply because I bought the leather as like your standard, but right now because I'm not moving or anything, I thought it was like pointless to be wearing leather. Anyway, watch. There we go. Let's look for a second. There you go. 4:22 now. Anyway, real time. All right, real time. This video isn't going to be super hyper edited. I'm gonna be showing a lot of my random crap that I do. Like for example, I'm putting the watch strap back on, right? Stuff like that. That's gonna be in the video. I don't really care to cut it out. I'm not gonna bother. Yeah, there's two major things, as you can tell by the title of this video. There's two major things that I need to cover. One, the fact that I'm back, and two, College Board, because those two things are in the title of this video. So if you guys remember in the why I left, or the I'm taking a small break, I think is the title that I gave it. In that video, give me a second. Alright. In that video, I specifically said that the two major reasons why I was leaving was because of the AP tests, and I was working on that one video. So, that one video is done, as I said, it's up. Now the AP tests are also over. I only took 2 this year. My last one was on Friday. As of the time of recording this video, it is 4:23 on Sunday. So I did take a day's worth of a break just to myself. Even then it wasn't a break because I still had work, but whatever. Point being, everything's done. I can go back to making videos now. In fact, I plan on going back to making videos now of your regularly scheduled content. Breath of the Wild and Fire Emblem will be coming soon. As soon as I finish recording that stuff. Again, I had stopped recording. Like, I don't even have like extra episodes lined up. I think I might have like a Fire Emblem recording lined up. I'm not entirely sure because I haven't checked in a long time. But yeah, regular like Fire Emblem and Zelda episodes will be coming back to the channel. And I do have, like I said, that one like hyper edited video that I stalled. That will also start. I will also start putting out. I will also put out that video because now I'm going to start to edit it. I had already started editing it, but it was like really early in development. It's a pain. Anyway, my point in saying all of this being, yes, I am back. That part we have now covered. This next part that I wanted to cover is actually in regard to the AP test and College Board as an organization. And I specifically say organization because by their own tax status, really, by their own tax status. They're a non-profit organization. They apparently do not make a single penny of profit off of what they do, which is horseshit, by the way. Like, I'm just gonna go out and say it. It's horseshit. They make a lot of money, and we will get to that eventually. So yeah, College Board. College Board was one of the reasons why I left. The AP tests, all of them, are run by an organization called College Board. They also administer the SATs. For any of my viewers that live outside of the United States or are unaware of both of those things, the SAT is a college entrance exam. Most of the time when you're a junior or a high school... I know in certain countries high school isn't split up into 4 grades. In the US, high school is 4 grades, from 9 to 12. When you're in 11th grade or junior, generally people take the SAT, and then they can take it a couple times. That way they can take it a couple times. That way they get like a good enough score. And the scoring is out of 1,600. 800 points for reading and writing, 800 points for math on the SAT. And the better you do, the better it looks on like your college application. And the AP tests are subject-specific tests, which if you do well enough on, you can earn college credit, which means that you have essentially you have already cleared a college-level course, and you won't have to take it again in college, which leads to the other benefit being saving money on college, which is huge. But 2, taking an AP test and doing well on it also reflects well on your own academic performance and how good you are at stuff. This year, the AP tests, obviously because of current circumstances, I know YouTube has kind of eased up on the virus, so I'm going to be calling it the virus. Because when I say the virus, everyone should know what virus I'm talking about. But the virus has kind of put a damper in that a little bit. So all of the tests, or at least majority of them, were taken from home. So College Board had to rework some of the way that the testing works so that they could administer them for people who are learning and working at home. And overall, I think that the way that it was handled was... okay, I shouldn't say it that way. Let me rephrase. The way that they converted it from the paper test to an online system, I think was much better than I would have ever hoped for from them, honestly. So, from what I gather, because I took AP Euro last year, but I never took the test. The AP test is a on-paper test with multiple choice and free response questions, which means you'll have, or document-based questions, which is they give you a bunch, especially for history classes, they give you a bunch of documents and you have to write an essay using those documents as a supporting argument for your persuasive essay. And then free response questions are, this is something that I dealt with in physics, which is it's like a more open-ended question, where it'll give you, it'll give you the question you're supposed to answer, but you have to write out or solve the math for and show your work on that math for that specific question instead of a multiple choice answer. Personally, in general, I tend to prefer open-ended questions simply because I think open-ended questions actually prove that you know what you're talking about, whereas multiple choice, you can be C. I mean, that's one of the ways that, that's something that they teach you here, is that you can't get penalized for... You get penalized for not putting an answer down, right? You don't get penalized for getting the wrong answer. They don't take off points for getting the wrong answer. It's you start with 0, and all of the ones that you get correct build up to your actual score. But they don't dock points for getting the wrong answer, but they do if you just don't put an answer down, I think. So if you don't know something, guess. That's something we are actually taught here in American schools. And while I think multiple choice can be handy, especially when you don't know the material, it gives you a bit of a safety net, because that's a 1 in 4 chance most of the time that you are probably going to get it right. When it comes to something like proving that you know something, I think like an open-ended response question is a much better way of actually gauging whether you know the material you're talking about. And the AP tests this year were essentially just that. A couple of open-ended questions, rather than your traditional like multiple choice paper and pencil type things. At least the ones that I took. I don't know about anybody else. I don't know about any other subjects. But the ones that I took, specifically Physics 1 and US History, both were open-ended response questions. And College Board, by the way, I should point out that I probably won't catch any heat for this, since College Board has made it very clear that that is how they are working this year. And so I think that I do credit where credit's due. I do think that system of eliminating the multiple choice, shortening the test overall, and making it just the most important part was a smart play. It was not executed well at all, so let's go into that. I forget exactly what the source was on this news article because I read it like a day or two ago, but this is an electronic test this year. When you send it in, you just press a submit button. It'll ask, like, are you sure you want to submit? You can't return to the question. And when you hit submit, it sends your responses to College Board, and they'll grade it whenever they get around to grading. I don't know how College Board deals with that. But that's how that works, right? They get your response after you submit it. Some people were having submission issues. I didn't know how widespread the issue was, and it's a lot more widespread than I thought it was, but I personally know someone who was affected by submission errors. The Discord text has been deleted, so obviously I can't ask him right now if I can reveal it, but I have a friend, a personal friend who I'm also in a Discord server with, who had submission issues. He posted a video of what was going on. He was clicking the submit button, but the pop-up window saying, "Are you sure?" didn't show up. So he had submission errors, and that's a problem because this is like a 50-minute test that could possibly save you hundreds of thousands of dollars and be really helpful for your future education. So that was one of the issues, is submissions. I honestly didn't know how widespread it was, since both of my tests submitted fine. I think I personally got lucky too because my internet is really good. And I'm pretty sure the College Board submission servers or whatever are probably in New York because that's where everything is, and I have pretty damn good ping for New York. But a lot of people actually were not able to submit correctly. And I didn't know how many until I read the article. So according to College Board, which, first of all, I already don't trust this number simply because it's College Board. They can skew it if they really wanted to. If it would make them look better, they might fudge with the numbers. The number that College Board gave is that there is an expected, if I'm remembering this correctly because I can't be bothered to look up that article again, 3.4 million people taking the AP test this year through this online system. And they estimate that just about 1% of those people had submission errors. Here's the thing, 1% of 3.4 million is still a lot of people. My point in saying that being that College Board is trying to marginalize the issue, and this is nothing new, by the way, and we'll get to another part of that part of this issue later, after I finish this sentence and this train of thought, that College Board is trying to marginalize the issue by saying, oh, out of the 3.4 million people, only 1% got actually had issues. And if you take those numbers at face value, it's 3.4 million people, 1%. 3.4 million is a big number. 1 is a small number. But if you really take a look at what 1% of 3.4 million is, that's still a lot of people that got screwed over. Now, for the people that did have submission problems, apparently there is an option within 48 hours of taking the test for you to sign up for a retake. and as far as I'm aware, they don't charge you for a retake. And we'll get to pricing later as well, because that's another big issue I have with College Board. But apparently they won't charge you for they won't charge you for the retake either. The thing is, though, I think that the other issue mainly is that College Board is bad at communication. The only email that I got about the whole AP test from College Board was, this is your code that you're going to need to access your AP test, and here's a link to get to your AP test when you go to take it. That's the only email I got from them. When I completed the test, there was no confirmation email saying congratulations. The only confirmation I got that my submissions had gone through was a splash screen that shows up that I took a screenshot of saying I have completed the test. Sorry about this weird cut. My card ran out of storage. If I've messed up the camera angle that I was at before, we're dealing with this one for the rest of the video. So they don't give you any kind of confirmation or like issue any kind of statement other than to press. They don't issue it to their actual users. And I know this because I checked my email, the same one that's linked to my College Board account, and the one that well, obviously the same one that's linked to my College Board account is the one that I said at the beginning of the AP test where they asked for personal information. They did ask for an email that's linked to your College Board account. I checked that email, no dice, no number, like no email, nothing at all saying like, okay, we have received your submission. Nothing at all. Like, I've gotten more emails from Best Buy just to set up my account, like verification emails, than I have from College Board. Because I guess Best Buy cares more. That's the issue with College Board, is that it shows like this lack of care for its customers. Because it's a business. Like, again, we'll get to pricing in a second, but it's a business. Let's leave it there for a second. The other thing is, and I'm not sure if this is the case, this is entirely speculation based on my data, but within my school, right, we have a specific program that allows us to communicate with our teachers. It works a lot like a social media, like messaging app would. And so in that, my physics teacher sends out an update saying, so apparently a lot of people had submission issues, and if you did, here is this Google form that we need you to fill out for every AP test that you did, and if you had submission errors and like know what you want to do about it, like take a retake or something like that, contact the teacher in the building that deals with the AP tests and College Board and stuff. Contact this teacher that set up this Google form and fill out the form. And I think she will probably run it out like for you on your behalf or something. Which is great, right? That it's great that my school has that. The problem is that I doubt that every school where kids are taking the AP tests has that kind of system and that kind of connection to College Board. And that is really scummy, because you should just be able to retake it. Like, you shouldn't have to deal with this, like, middleman. It's a lot like my problems with YouTube. Let me give you an example of a YouTuber that I actively watch. He's much bigger than I am, so I'm sure that most of my subscribers probably already watch this guy. His name's Nico B. Great YouTuber, love his content, makes a lot of RPG and JRPG content. Really funny, and he does like live streams every weekend on Twitch, which are also which are a great time. I think it was last year, 2019, in like, I would say like summer, fall-ish time, his channel just got terminated, out of the blue. And luckily, he was able to get it back up within the weekend because somebody in his fan community worked at YouTube and was able to speed that process along. And when he found out, he was going to contact his network and have the network contact YouTube so he could get this all ironed out. And that probably would have taken just about a week. Luckily for him, it only took a weekend because one of his fans is an employee of YouTube. But think about like individual content creators that don't have a network, right? Where it's like, I don't have a go-between that has a connection to YouTube. It's me. I reach out, like if I were to run into problems, I reach out directly to YouTube. And I have no idea if they would ever respond to me. Because I'm a small individual creator, I would never be able to get in contact with them for possibly months at a time. That same analogy can be kind of applied to College Board here, that I have a network, in this case, people like staff at my school is at least in somewhat has a connection to College Board, but imagine the schools that don't, like that, the amount of like hoops that the consumer has to jump through to get what they need it's stunning that College Board is this backwards with their what's the word? Communication. They're that backward with their communication. The other thing that I have a problem when it comes to this specific AP test situation with is College Board's general scumminess. And this is no secret, by the way, that College Board is a pretty scummy, it's a pretty scummy company. I'm honestly, it's a company. It's not even an organization, it's a company. And again, we'll get to pricing in a little bit. The official statement from College Board on the reason why so many people were having issues with like submitting stuff, right, was apparently because some people's browsers were out of date. Here's the issue with that. No. And I'll tell you why I think so. Most computers, most people that have computers at home right now, most of them run Windows 10. That is an actual statistical fact. I looked it up, and here is the statistic data to show. Most computers that most people own run Windows 10. On Windows 10, you have 3 big web services: Microsoft Edge, Google Chrome, and Mozilla Firefox. Now, I don't use Firefox or Microsoft Edge really, but I'll get to Microsoft Edge in a second. The main issue that I have is Firefox. Like, I don't know, but I would assume it probably works the exact same way when it comes to installing updates as Chrome and Edge do. The other thing about Edge is that in more recent versions of Edge, it's been totally revamped to essentially just be Microsoft's Chrome. I mean, it kind of always was Microsoft's Chrome, but like now it's actually based on Chrome because it's a skinned, essentially, version of the Chromium browser, which is an open source browser, or the open source version of Chrome that Google makes. It's everything that Chrome has, but like a little behind Chrome when it comes to like security patches and stuff. And it's an open source version, so anybody can use it. Anybody can use it as a base for their own thing, or they can just use it as its own browser. It's completely free, and it's not messy at all. Like, it's not like malware or anything, as long as you find the right version. But Microsoft Edge is essentially Chrome running like Microsoft's own skin on it. And both Edge and Chrome, as far as I'm aware, because Edge is based off of Chrome, have a feature in which if you do need to, first of all, they will update Chrome in the background. Like, they will just update it on its own when you're not using the computer or something. It'll update itself and make sure you're up to date. And those few times that it doesn't update itself, it will give you a big yellow arrow in the top right corner of the screen saying, "Hey, update Chrome." And so it's almost definitely not because people's browsers were out of date. And the other reason why I know, well, I don't know necessarily, but I have a good, strong feeling that that's not the reason, and College Board is just pulling something out of their ass, is that College Board had demo tests to show people, okay, this is how this is going to work. This is how you're going to submit your responses. This is how this is going to work. This is how that. Like, they had demo tests set up so you could go through and figure out how everything works and how everything was going to run. A lot of people, and this is through my own research. This is not through like statistics or anything. A lot of people that I personally know and people that I have asked through the internet. All of these people that I have asked took the demo test and were able to get it to run successfully. But like I said, I know specific people that weren't able to submit it correctly. So it's not a browser issue, okay? Because the browser isn't going to magically not update like overnight or within a couple hours of the test. It's not it's not an issue with the browser being out of date or not being compatible. It's just that College Board's servers must have been overloaded with the amount of AP tests scores and like the files coming in that they couldn't handle it and certain people couldn't submit. And the fact that College Board wasn't able to maintain its servers and is like lying about it is horseshit, and they should definitely be called out for it. The other issue is you would think that with the amount of money that College Board makes, that they would be able to afford better servers. I mean, gaming companies are able to afford servers for free-to-play games that have up to like 150 people playing in real time with one another. With like Call of Duty Warzone, it's 150 people playing at the same time in real time with one another through dedicated servers. And obviously there's a lot of money going into it, but you would think with the kind of money that College Board makes and it being a non-profit organization that it would be able to afford better servers. Evidently not. And let's run through pricing real quick. For the AP test, I don't remember the exact pricing, but I remember at the very least it's $95, and if I'm fairly certain it was $98 for a standard AP test. It said that College Board said that 3.4 million people will be taking the AP test, right? So let's pull up our handy dandy calculator real quick and run the numbers. So that's 3.4 million people, right? You have your 3.4 million people. Say they each take, right? And I know this is a false number because I know this is lowballing it because I myself took 2 of them. Say each of them takes 1 AP test each. Each one is just about $100. Even if it's on the low end at $95, it still rounds up to $100. So let's say $100. College Board, in one AP season alone, made $340 million on AP tests alone. Now, let's take into account, say everybody only took 2 AP tests. $680 million. That's a lot of fucking money. Let's talk about the SATs, because the SATs are priced a little lower. To take the SAT, just one SAT, costs just about $50. It's like $48, but $50. And that's assuming you're not taking the essay, that's assuming you're not taking any subject SATs, just one SAT. Which, by the way, I should point out, almost nobody ever does. Everybody does it at the very least like twice, maybe even 3 times. I think it's recommended that you do it 3 times by most outlets. So we'll go over both once and the more common 3 times. Each one costs about $50. According to College Board numbers, in 2019, 2.2 million graduating, like the class of 2019, took 2.2 million of them took the SAT. So if we run that number through, right, 2.2 million people took the SAT, and say everybody only took it once. That's $50 per person. That is still $110 million. And let's go with the more accurate number, which is $50 times 3, because one person is taking it 3 times, so that's $150 times the same $2.2 million times 150. That's $330 million that they made from the class of 2019. More realistically, that's the amount of money that they're going to be making. Then, if we take into account also our slightly more realistic number when it comes to the people taking the AP test, you end up with a grand total of $1,010 million. And you cannot tell me that with all that money, one, that they are a non-profit organization, because if so, I would love to see where all that money goes. And two, that they can't afford to have better servers and make sure that everybody can submit properly. If you even try to make that argument, you are a moron. Beyond what the English language, beyond what any language can comprehend, and beyond what any language can comprehensively put into words. That, either you're a moron or you just don't have a sense of money. $1.01 billion is a lot of money. That is almost double the cost of both Avatar and Avengers Endgame, the 2 highest grossing movies of all time. That is almost double the cost of both of their budgets. Both of them combined, it's almost double that cost. So you cannot, in good conscience, good faith, and just good sound mind, tell me that they don't have the money. They most definitely do. It's just that it's going towards their profits. The other issue I have with College Board, specifically regarding the AP test this time, is their general scumminess when it comes to the legal issues, right? I have not done much research, or really any research into this. I was only told about this story, and I would honestly believe it. It seems like something College Board would probably do. But apparently there was a narc, like an undercover cop type person in College Board, who went on Reddit and was like, yeah, College Board sucks. Y'all want to cheat on the SATs or something with me? And then everybody called him out, like, dude, shut the hell up, narc. Apparently this is a thing that College Board did. But the thing that I want to complain about is the typing sample. Because I have a good feeling that this could actually, at the very least, is extremely shady, and at the worst could actually legitimately be illegal. When you take the AP test, you are forced, first of all, well, okay, I shouldn't say forced. You have to type in your personal information, your name, your date of birth, your email address that's associated with your College Board account. You have to agree to their terms of service. You can choose to decline also the option when it comes to College Board can use my responses for promotional material or study guides and stuff, that kind of thing. You can accept or decline permission for that, and you have to put in a typing sample. I took this screenshot because once I saw this, I'm like, oh, I gotta talk about this on camera. So I took a screenshot of this. The exact words, and it'll be on screen so you can read this too, but I brought the computer so I can read it. The thing that the typing sample says is, before testing, you must complete this typing sample. It includes sentences at the end covering all letters of the alphabet and some numbers. Type the following 3 paragraphs exactly as they appear and in the way you typically type on this device. By that description, you would assume, given no context what you're supposed to type, you would assume that the typing sample is to make sure that your keyboard is functioning correctly and that you have all the keys that you will possibly need to take the test and, do it to the best of your ability, and you are not hindered by your technology, and, College Board is actually receiving all of your answers. If you take a look at the paragraphs that the sentences and stuff that they're making you write, there's this one at the end. There's 3 total, paragraphs that you're supposed to write. There's this one at the end, which actually sticks to that description, which is, my grandfather picks up quartz and valuable onyx jewels, sends 60 dozen quart jars and 12 black pans. Those 2 sentences contain every letter in the English language at least once, and have a couple numbers to make sure that your keyboard is working correctly. That is a typing sample. Another example of that would be the quick brown fox jumped over some dog or something like that. I don't know, that quick brown fox thing. I'll put it up on the screen just so you know what I'm talking about. But it contains every letter in the English language. I think it's the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. Anyway, point being that the typing, that part is the only part that actually sticks to the description of the typing sample above, where it's like, oh, this typing sample has all of the all letters of the alphabet and some numbers. But then you read and actually, when it came to my first test, I saw the sample and I'm like, oh, okay, it's just the sentence. And then it's like, wait, you didn't type the whole thing. And then I saw that there's these other paragraphs in that box. And that's when I was like, oh, they want me to type all this. And here's why I think this is at the very least shady and at the very worst illegal. Those 2 paragraphs say, I attest to the following: I shall not give or receive aid during this exam. My answers will be entirely my own. Plagiarism software will scan my responses. My teacher will receive my responses. If I give or receive help or submit work that is not my own, my score will be canceled. My attempt to cheat will be reported to college admissions offices and my high school. I will be banned from future College Board exams. Anyone who helps me or receives help from me will be investigated. That is part of the typing sample, and you are forced to type that if you want to take the test. You are not allowed to take the test without typing that out yourself. And the reason why they have you do this is because, say you get investigated and you take them to court over that. Like as that's illegal, right? Like, oh, you can't like say I cheated, I didn't cheat. Under what basis are you canceling my scores or that stuff? You can say like, oh, I didn't know or something. It's like, well, we have your essentially signature here. You typed this as a confession of statement, right? You said this, you typed it yourself saying, I won't cheat and I won't give or receive aid. If I do, this is what's going to happen. You wrote that yourself, so you have to stick by that. That is extremely shady. And the reason why it is extremely shady is because in the description of that portion, it never mentions anywhere saying that this part, right, we want you to type this part as like an oath or something like that. It never mentions it. It just says this is a typing sample. And you have to type that part. You are forced to type it, otherwise you can't take the test. I'm serious. It's like, it legitimately pissed me off when I first realized that I have to type that whole thing, because in certain cases, in certain scenarios, I'm not saying I don't know all the legal codes surrounding it, but I'm sure if I were to look into it, it wouldn't be that much of a stretch to say that that is entrapment, which is illegal. So it is possible that College Board is forcing you to do something, to write something, without giving you the proper context and the proper, notice, and that could be illegal. And that is, at the very least, shady as all hell. that they're forcing you to write that down as a typing sample, and don't say, hey, this is like some kind of oath or you have to type this because of a certain reason. They claim it's falling under the typing sample. And that doesn't sit well with me. At the very least, it does not sit well with me. So yeah, this video was a lot longer than I thought it would be when I first sat down to start making it. I'm going to have quite a hell of a time in editing. But thanks to everybody who's made it to this part of the video. I did actually put a timestamp in earlier if you wanted to skip to the College Board rant, because this is like a two-piece video, right? I have like, oh, I'm back, and then I have the College Board rant. But yeah, I wanted to, for the fans and the viewers that are constantly supporting me, thank you very much. Thank you to everybody who supported the heist. I spent a lot of time on that. And it's part of the reason that I'm currently up at 5:09 filming this video. Yes, I have been recording for that long. I'm gonna have a lot of footage to cut. I'm gonna end up doing a lot more editing than I thought I would. Anyway, that's been it for this video. Thank you everyone for watching. If you guys agree with any of the points I've made, please feel free to use this video as ammunition against College Board, because I mean it's like they have successfully monetized and monopolized the futures of kids in school. Like that's just ethically, there's got to be some line drawn there. So yeah, go ahead and use this if you guys want in your like anything that you need to do against College Board. I will also say that it's nice to finally talk about that, because I feel like I was kind of holding something back by not talking about it, so it's nice to actually be able to say that about College Board, to have a platform where I can say that. It's a small platform, yes, but it is a platform nonetheless, and I'm very grateful to everybody who listened to that message, because it's something that needs to be said, it's something that needs to be heard. And everybody who's been waiting for my return, I'm sorry I left. I had stuff to do. And I'm coming back now, so you can start expecting videos soon enough. Coming back to the channel. I will be recording this week. I will be recording for a while to come. I don't think, at the very least, I don't think that there is anything else left. Like, I don't think that there's anything else that's going to stop me or make me take another break or anything. So I should be good for a while. Just keep churning out content, and I'll be, when it comes out, I will be, by the way, probably stopping probably the Breath of the Wild series to switch to Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, because I will most definitely be picking that up day one. I will be recording it day one. I will be posting a video about it day one that it comes out. We will be Let's Playing that game on this channel, because that is in my opinion, one of the best RPGs ever made. So I can't wait for that. I hope you guys are just as excited as I am for Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. And thank you everybody for watching. To the new people, because I don't know how many new people I'm really going to be able to bring in with a topic like College Board, but to everybody that saw this video, thank you very much for watching. I'm not going to even plug my normal stuff. I will say I don't make this kind of content all the time. You can actually take a look at the channel. Obviously, most of this is gaming stuff. I do have a couple of like more intense film projects that I've done. So Slick Bandit is another one of my film projects, kind of like The Heist. And that's another one you guys can check out. I'm pretty proud of that one too. I mainly do gaming stuff here. And if mainly Nintendo stuff, honestly, and if that sounds like it's something you want to see, then go ahead and subscribe. Take a look at the channel, and enjoy yourself. Honestly, that's all I can say to you. Hopefully, videos. Well, not hopefully. I guarantee you, videos will be returning soon. I am working on some pretty big videos that I hope you guys will like. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video, whenever that gets uploaded.